Ooh, last night, goodness grief, what did I watch? So I'm gonna say a few things. The Super Bowl was bad, the halftime show was mid, and the second half of the Super Bowl was kinda entertaining, but still very, very boring. So, if you guys live under a rock and you don't know what the Super Bowl is basically an annual NFL championship game, which is the National Football League. And I am a huge NFL fan. I actually have a couple jerseys, and I have a lot of NFL collectibles in my room. I'll probably show some on the screen if I can. But the Super Bowl this year was Patriots versus Seattle Seahawks. The Patriots are one of the greatest teams in NFL history. Meanwhile, the Seattle Seahawks is one of the greatest teams in the NFC right now. Which is the National Football Conference. And, goodness grief, what was that game last night in New England? 29-13. I know it doesn't sound bad on paper, but if you were to watch that entire 4-hour football game, you would have understood the actual pain and scrutiny I was going through while watching. I literally couldn't sit down and actually watch the game. It was so boring that I started doing other things around the house. Just listening to the game, basically. And oh my goodness, the ads this year were terrible. They were not good. The only good ad, in my honest opinion, was the Cadillac Formula One ad. And I'm a Formula One fan, so of course I'm going to say that. So it's going to sound like I'm biased. But I'm really not trying to be biased. I'm being brutally honest. That was probably the only good ad I saw this year, next to like a few others I'm not going to name, because I don't remember them all, because I'm still very tired. By the way, it is now Monday afternoon. I just got home from school, and oh my goodness, everyone at my school was complaining about the freaking Super Bowl also. I was talking to my friend in first period. He didn't watch it. He said, who won? I said Seattle ended up winning. But I told him he did not miss out on anything, because if he were to watch it, he probably would have not even came to school because of how boring that thing was. Ugh, I freaking hated it this year. And I'm going to talk about the halftime show. The halftime show was alright. I was okay with it. No huge issues with it, honestly. Although I don't understand Spanish, it wasn't terrible. I did like the theatrical stuff in it, because it made you feel like you were in a like Hispanic wedding, basically, and I am Hispanic also, and it felt cool to watch that, basically. But I'm not gonna say that this was a good Super Bowl, because it was not. It was a terrible Super Bowl, honestly, and I feel like last year's Super Bowl can honestly compare to this one, or not compare, basically. Last year's Super Bowl everyone didn't like, because the Eagles ended up dominating over the Chiefs, but brother, that was a terrible Super Bowl, honestly. I feel like me watching paint dry would have been more entertaining than watching Super Bowl 60, honestly. And by all accounts, this is probably the worst Super Bowl I've ever watched in my entire life. I'm not even exaggerating. I was alive to watch Super Bowl 49 all the way to now. That's like 14, almost 15 Super Bowls that I've watched, or was at least alive to witness. And I've watched football almost most of my life, basically. I have seen a few of these Super Bowls. The worst one, in my opinion, was Super Bowl 53. That was the most boring out of all. It was the most low-scoring Super Bowl in NFL history. Goodness grief. It was 13-3. This was 29-13. And I know me comparing Super Bowl 58 to Super Bowl 60 is not really comparable, since it's not a low-scoring game compared to a decently high-scoring game. The issue I have with Super Bowl 60 is that it barely had any score in the first half and barely any score in the second half, basically. That's my only complaint I basically have, and it basically ruined the viewing experience for me. And that's what makes me extremely mad about watching the Super Bowl this year. Because I basically just wasted about, let's say, a good 4 hours of my life watching a football game that was extremely boring. And that's going to do my NFL Super Bowl 60 rant. If you like this type of content, please subscribe. comment, like, to share this to anybody who you think may like this type of content, and enjoy your day.